Okay, my next big job in the garden is going to be to get the apple trees pruned. They have been absolutely fantastic this year, but there is way too much growth on them now. They're going to need a really hard prune this winter. And one of the things I want to do is to make sure that my pruning gear is in tip-top condition, because the last thing I want to be doing to those gorgeous healthy trees is to be introducing disease. So what I'm going to do today is just take a quick look at what I use to prune with, make sure that I get rid of any rust, give it a good sharpen, give it a good oil, and then they'll be fit and ready to go. First of all, I've got my I would say my newest secateurs. Now, so far, and I say so far, these have been relatively well looked after. They've only been used once in the spring, and they've been kept in the shed where they belong. Whereas my other pruners do look slightly worse for wear. Now, it might be that these are slightly older. They didn't cost a lot. I am terrible for losing my secateurs and other garden tools in the beds. And so there's a chance that this has been sitting in the garlic bed for several weeks before they've been found. But actually they're not too bad, but they are going to need something just a little bit more to clean off this rust. And last of all, there's the good old loppers. Now these are used for slightly thicker branches, of which we have got many, and not only are these pretty rusty, but I can see that the cutting edge here is really beveled and quite dull, so I'm going to have to spend a little bit of time sharpening that, but I've got a really nifty tool to show you how I use it. So yeah, let's get on with that. What you can do if you want to, if they are really badly rusted, you can take the whole lot apart by undoing this screw here and dividing them up into their component parts, spraying them, cleaning them, and making sure you put them back in the right order. But with these, all they are going to need is a light spray with some lubricant and a slight sharpen. So let me just show you how I'm going to do that. Okay, so all I've got here is a lubricant, I'll cover the name, that penetrates, dispenses water, and will likely clean off any rust that you've got as well. So I'm just going to give these a very light spray with this, and I think if you can see there, we're going to be able to get rid of that with just a little scrub with a good old toothbrush. You can see from that these have buffed up quite nicely, and what I'll do, I'll come back in a moment, give this edge a nice sharpen, and they're ready to go. This is a really simple formula, just using stuff you've got around the house. As you know, I like to try and do things for free if I can. So what I've got here is some bicarbonate of soda, baking soda, doesn't really matter. Okay, and I'm just going to try and get rid of any lumps. I'm just going to put a few spoonfuls in here, and then what I'm going to do is add a little bit of water and mix it to just enough of a paste that I'm going to be able to handle spreading on top of my loppers. Now again, if I wanted to, I could take this nut off here and take them apart. All I'm going to do is put this on, paste it on quite liberally. You know what, I might just use my fingers. Put it all over the loppers themselves. I'm hoping I've got enough for my secateurs as well, otherwise I'll mix another batch. But you can see how quick and easy that is to do. There's no harsh chemicals in there, because after all, these tools that you're renovating here are going to be in touch with your plants, and if they are edible plants, you don't want anything nasty going on them. Then with my secateurs, I'm going to do exactly the same. Oh look, Jane, get your hands in there. There we are. Splash it all over. Remember that one? Okay. Then to make sure it gets into all the little crevices, I'm going to use our good old friend, the toothbrush, just to make sure it's in all the smaller bits there. Okay, make sure you push it right in, put a last little bit on top, and for these I'm probably going to leave these for about 10 minutes, so I will come back to these when they're done and we'll take a little look at the next step. Right, it's about a quarter of an hour later and I'm coming back to the secateurs now, and I can see straight away they are cleaner. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to rinse off this bicarbonate of soda, baking soda. In all I've got here is a little bit of warm soapy water, because I want to make sure I get rid. Wow. That is better than I even thought, honestly. That is quite incredible. That has been no scrubbing at all, apart from with the toothbrush. I haven't sanded this. Let's just get my hands in again. But I do want to make sure I get all the bicarb off. And then let's show you what a difference that has made. Let's have a look. I mean, they weren't terribly encrusted, not like the loppers, but you can see from that. My goodness me. Next step, I've got them clean. I need to sharpen this cutting edge, and what I'm going to use for that, I've got this special little tool. Sorry, the dog's just wandered in. Sneezed, hello. Sneezed right next to the microphone. Okay, I have got a special little, it's like a tiny whetstone, and it's ideal for small tools like this. Now, obviously, if you were going to be using or trying to sharpen your spade or your hoe, you're going to want a larger whetstone type thing that you just wet and scrape against your sharpening edge. But do not just do it willy-nilly. Oh no, you want to make sure that you are going towards the beveled edge. You want to be doing short flicks of the sanding implement against the sharpening edge, because ultimately this edge here has to meet up with that edge to make a nice sharp cut. So it's no good, don't go doing it on that side whatsoever, because then you're just going to create a gap between that and that. So always go nice quick motion, not too much. It really doesn't need that much. You can see maybe in the bowl there what's coming off. That's all it needs. Give it a wipe to get rid of any burrs. Have a look on the other side. You might just want to go along the edge again with a bit of steel wool to remove any snags, and then make sure it's dry again. Just give it a little bit of an oil. So you're going to just oil in the nut. There we go. And just give a tiny bit of oil along the blades, which you can wipe in. Oh, that looks wet still. There we go. Which you can wipe on with a little bit of kitchen towel. Okay, so I am now confident that I have got 2 pairs of really healthy secateurs. I have done exactly the same to the newer pair that I did to the old pair, in that I've sanded down the cutting edge in the right direction, and I've followed it up with a very light application of oil. So I know these are now ready to go and prune. They are not going to squash stems. They are not going to introduce any disease. And yeah, they should make my life a lot easier. The loppers are still going. I must admit, I have tried just wiping a little bit away. They were far more corroded than the secateurs themselves. So what I'm going to do is every 10 minutes or so, I'm just going to come along, use my finger, have a look and see if it's working. If I think it's not working enough, then there is another way that you can use with more rusted tools by just putting them in a vinegar bath overnight, but that's for a different video. But I'm pretty confident that in about another half an hour, these are going to be just as bright and shiny as these two. So Hope you enjoyed. Go and clean your tools. Take care. See you soon.